So one of the questions I get asked when streaming or from YouTube comments is, how do I avoid getting upset after losses, and how do I, not get tilted at my teammates? And the answer is something I sort of picked up from skateboarding, which was that you needed to fall in love with the process and not with the result. In skateboarding, you could go out and have a goal of landing a trick and skate the entire day and never land it a single time. And if your only goal is to land that trick, you're going to spend that entire time, which would be hours, being absolutely miserable. And that's where you have to really fall in love with the process, right? You have to fall in love with the process of learning, of getting closer to landing it, but not actually landing it yet. And I take that same sort of idea and I bring it over to Marvel Rivals, which is, you know, uh, focus on improving and on learning after every single game, right? Uh, if you've watched me stream, you know that I started to pick up Magic only recently. I've only got like a couple of days on her. When I first started, I was playing on the Salted Countin Plat, and I thought I was going to be throwing every single game because I had little to no experience on her, outside of just basically messing around in like a practice range. Uh, and now I feel pretty confident that I can at least like hold my own in Diamond. But you'll know it was not as easy as when I first picked up Captain America and I was winning a lot of games. Uh, it has been quite difficult. But whether I was winning or whether I was losing, I had a lot of fun as I was slowly learning all of her individual interactions with other heroes in the game.
A nice deep freeze. Watch me
There'd be times where I would do something cool and fail, but still have an opportunity to, reflect and think of how I could do it better. I know my team is like,
have to feed them
Whoa!
sometimes.
Get out of that.
Double KO.
I should have been.
That's
I got a little greedy and I wasn't hitting my melees in between my sword slashes there, so I could have sped that up. There'd be times where, I knew about stuff in theory, like being able to one shot a support out of their ultimate, and it would work.
us against the world.
Oh, that was cool. And the stuff I know in theory, like being able to portal ultimates and having it fail. I mistimed that. I know that I could have gotten out, but if you don't take risks trying to learn something, you're never going to learn. So I was trying to intentionally dodge it with the portal and I messed up. Uh, but that's sort of the fun to me of, picking up these characters and just playing over and over again is just my goal isn't to win. My goal is to do a little bit better than I did the previous game. Even if I lose, if I still feel like I did a little bit better, then I feel like I'm improving. I feel like it's time well spent, right? Because if you're going in there and you're only focused on winning and you're not focusing on where you can improve or what you can do better or just playing to your best, uh, then ultimately you're not focused on the things that'll help you eventually win. Because the more you learn, the more you improve, the more you're eventually going to win.
Wolverine, though.
Oh, I knew that was a mistake the moment I did it. So if your goal is to learn and your goal is to just perform better every game, then eventually the wins will follow, right? But if you're too focused on the end result, you lose sight of everything you're supposed to do along the way. Uh, while I've been playing Magic, there have definitely been times that I have felt really cool playing her.
You're working it.
I was in trouble. I got you.
I suddenly feel really cool.
Double
And times I have felt totally uncool playing her.
Yeah.
Wow. Am I a Magic main now? Oh, Uh, but I know that in time, the more I practice, the more I try to, lower the amount of deaths I have, the more I try to land those combos. Eventually, it'll get to a point that hopefully I can bring Magic into the same rank that I play my Psylocke at. But I have a lot more hours on Psylocke than I do on Magic, so it might be a little while. That's my advice for you: is make make the process of learning fun. Don't get tilted at the losses. The losses are not a reflection of you, neither are the wins or the rank for that matter. The only thing you need to be focusing on is trying to make sure that you perform to the best of your ability. And if you feel like you did the best you could at that given place and time, then that's all that matters. Uh, but don't get discouraged by the losses. And I will say that there are times that I get frustrated too, and it's usually not due to losses. It's usually due to teammates throwing or people being toxic, and it's kind of just like killing my mood. And those times I just hop off and I hop on, a different game or I play Marvel Rivals at a later date or something. If you ever feel like you're just not having fun, just come back to it later. But don't get upset at the losses. Don't get tilted. Just do back up and try to do better the next round. Because ultimately that's all that matters. So yeah, keep learning, keep improving, and keep your head up and just do back up again. Because at the end of the day, eventually in time, the more you practice, the better you'll get. Anyway, hopefully this helps for you guys, and thanks for watching.